Hey everybody, Alex from healthhacksreview.com. This is a review video, and it's an educational, informational video, just a brief commentary on FDA clearances. Okay. Now, of course, if you're going to be using a laser, you want to make sure that it's FDA cleared. Okay. And in general, there's different types of what they call 510K clearances that a laser company can go through the process of, which is truly a pain in the ass. It takes a while, and it's difficult working with the FDA, and it's costly, but it's something that if you're going to spend a lot of money on a device and you're going to put there's some risk in it, in terms of just it's part of your business, right, and your insurance liability. But in general, by the way, the main risk with all lasers is just shining in the eyes, okay? That's one of the main risks. As long as you're following proper usage, for most lasers, there's hardly any risk at all, okay? As long as you're following proper usage and according to training. But anyways, about 510K clearances, a good laser company, what you'd like to see is, and that you'd also like to see their marketing and sales and representation adhere to, is to their 510K clearance. You always want to take a look and say, this laser company said it was really great for this and this, type of condition. Is there a 510K clearance for treating that type of condition? Let me look into that. Because if you're going to start to represent a device and say, and especially in your marketing or just how you're talking to your patients or whatever, and say, well, it's really great for this type of thing and this type of thing, let me treat you for that. You just want to be careful about what you're saying, that's all, and the message you're putting out there for FDA reasons, basically. And if it turns out that laser isn't really cleared for that type of usage. And again, that's something you want to look forward to when you're looking for a credible company and you're trying to compare. A lot of companies out there are making up a lot of stuff about how they're fantastic for this or this, but they don't have 510K clearances for those actual treatments or conditions. Again, also a good company there should be a track record of some sort of, especially if they've been out for a while, many years, there should be some sort of track record of them taking initiative to try to get 510K clearances for additional conditions. Why would you not want to do that? To show that your laser has efficacy for additional conditions, to help people with those conditions more. It just helps the whole industry as well. Again, the good companies we've seen do that kind of thing. And then, I can also talk about companies that they've been out for a long, long time, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, and they just got a clearance back at the beginning for one thing, and they didn't reinvest a dime or care to get additional 510K clearances, which kind of says something about what they're out to do. In general, they're just out to sell a lot of lasers, some of those companies, and that's it. And they don't want to improve upon or do any of that kind of homework, if you will. And so another thing about FDA clearances. So there is also what you can get is an OTC, which stands for over-the-counter, right? We all know that term, over-the-counter clearance, which basically means like you can get an aspirin right off the shelf, okay? You don't have to go get a prescription and go see a pharmacist for an aspirin, all right? And probably at one point, way back when, you did, right? But we know that's totally over-the-counter. So there's actual FDA clear lasers out there that are proud and actually state there, we are OTC. But here's the thing. In order to get an OTC clearance, what it implies is that this laser is so safe, you don't need any supervision, anybody can use it at home. Legally, they don't even have to train you if they want. They just do it so it's good customer service, so you know how to turn the thing on, right? And if your kids want to play with it, whatever, right? So, wow, okay, I thought we were talking about laser therapy here, medical devices. So, for example, I'll show you an example here. Some of the Theralase, some of the Theralase lasers are OTC. Multi-Radiance Medical, we all heard of those, right? TerraQuant and MR4 Active. Guess what? OTC. All right, so they're proud of that fact, but really all that tells you is, wow, even the FDA doesn't really care that much. Yeah, you want to use it at home, sure, and play with it. It's fine, it doesn't matter. It's so safe and low powered, it's not going to harm a fly. So yeah, go ahead and do what you want with it. That's basically what the OTC is all about. So then, hey, there's nothing wrong per se, I'm saying, with putting light therapy in the hands of more people. I'm all about it. I'm all about it, and OTC, that's great clearance to get, sure. What I have a problem with is that some of these companies, laser companies, that get the FDA OTC clearance, they're trying to use that as like a leverage of like, they're better than other companies that didn't get that OTC clearance, right? Well, they didn't get it, some of these other companies, because they're too high powered. And it's not even a high power, like it's a big high power. It's very easy to be higher power than an OTC. Case in point, you can go to some sort of office supply store or Amazon or whatever, get yourself some of these laser pointers that you might use for a presentation, and they have class 3 clearances. There's different levels of tiered class 3 clearance, but it's class 3 clearance. The point is, it's not an OTC clearance. Some of those pointers. So we're talking about very, very low level power. And then my issue is with these companies, and they're usually pulsing lasers, a lot of them, is then turn around and say, oh yeah, it's $4,000. Oh yeah, it's $8,000. Oh yeah, it's, they're charging exorbitant sums of money, and also trying to convince practitioners and people that, you know what, it's just as effective as these really high-powered lasers over here. It's as effective as a class 4, and this high-powered class 3B over here. It's just like that because it pulses, and because it pulses, and which really has hardly any efficacy or studies behind it. That's going to give it these amazing powers that are unproven, that are going to make it better than these powerful lasers over here. And it's over-the-counter cleared, and we're charging exorbitant sums of money for it. So if you're a practitioner especially, and you actually really want to get good efficacy with acute and chronic conditions, where you want to treat a lot of people in shorter treatment time, or from a marketing ROA standpoint, it'd be great to get some results within a few sessions at least that were really noticeable, so you could upsell a package and things like that. Don't go with an OTC laser. Go buy a powerful laser pointer. I said go on Amazon right now, okay, and get a little adjustable laser pointer that's 50 to 100 milliwatts. Probably costs you $70. Make sure you wear some goggles and I'm not recommending this, by the way. I'm just hypothetically giving you an example. There you go. So you have something for $70 that is way more powerful than some of these OTC lasers out there and brands, okay? That's the reality situation. So, how does it feel to be ripped off, basically? If they were selling their lasers, these OTC lasers, for $50, $100, in that price range. $150, because they do a lot of marketing, so, they can pack a little profit margin. It's understandable. But what do these lasers cost? They're not $50 to $150, are they? Right? So what do you think is so expensive on some of these? And by the way, I use the term laser, okay? A lot of these OTCs are actually using LEDs, okay, which is a form of light therapy. It's really more into that branch, which includes laser therapy, right, as part of the marketing angle, okay? But is it fair to call some of these OTC lasers, while they do use the word laser all the time in the marketing? Really, technically, they shouldn't be, okay? Because a laser is really a coherent form of radiation, a beam, right? And a LED is definitely not that. It's an incoherent wavelength that comes through. It's not a laser. It's not a semiconducting gas diode, which actually costs a little bit more, or in class 4s, a lot more. It just depends. But that's another side commentary as well. So it's not like it's an OTC actual laser. It's an OTC light therapy, LED device. So another thing to look in mind. Doesn't mean it doesn't have any efficacy. I'm not saying that. Most light therapy devices do have some efficacy. They have some results with something. OTC lasers do have efficacy as well. I didn't say that there's none. But if you're really looking for some real therapeutic outcomes with a variety of conditions, then it's not going to be my best recommendation. So anytime you see an OTC, just in your mind think, oh, okay, very weak laser that might not even be a laser, and that should probably cost me $50 to $150. Let me check Amazon and get myself a laser pointer. So it should go in that order, your thought process. If you have any more questions about other brands, that are OTC, and what are actually better clearances to look for in general, then send me a message or set an appointment time, give me a call. Be happy to help.